Hey there everybody, and welcome to the channel. I'm your host, Puborama, and in today's video, we are going to be comparing the Terabyte to the arcade. Both of these, I'll almost call them businesses, are a great way to access the majority of your other businesses. Let's say I want to resupply my motorcycle club cocaine lockup, but I don't want to have to go all the way over to Sandy Shores. Well, very simply, I can call out my Terabyte, and in just 1 minute, or maybe even 30 seconds, drive over to it, go inside the vehicle, and resupply my business way faster than obviously driving all the way over to Sandy Shores. And that is the exact same opportunity you have when it comes to the arcade. The arcade has a terminal command center, which allows you to control almost all of your businesses in the game. In today's video, we're not only going to be comparing these two businesses and talking about which one's better, but I'm also going to be talking about which one is easier to access and use overall. Now, a lot of try-hard grinders will tell you that you're going to get the Terabyte anyway, down to the fact that you're going to eventually purchase the Oppressor Mark II. However, nowadays the Oppressor Mark II costs $8 million, so I wouldn't really suggest to get the Terabyte and the Oppressor Mark II unless you really need it, especially when you've got vehicles like the Sparrow, which are honestly just as fast and as useful as the Oppressor, plus you can get the Kosatka and earn a crap ton of money. So we're going to start off by talking about the arcade, what strengths and weaknesses it has going for it. The only weakness the arcade has compared to the Terabyte is the fact that it is a stationary building. Being a stationary building obviously means that you can't call it in wherever you are, whenever you want. You have to make your way over to the arcade, or you can fast travel there, which I'll be talking about in a moment. Now, the strengths the arcade has, well, first of all, it features, I think, a 10-car garage in total, which you can see I do have my muscle cars in here. It's pretty nice that you can store 10 cars in this garage. Not only does it have a garage, but it is also a ground to do the heist, specifically the Diamond Casino heist, which is the second best heist available. If you have two players, you can do back-to-back Diamond Casino heist, Cayo Perico heist, Diamond Casino heist, Cayo Perico, and you can probably make around $2.5 million an hour, which is actually pretty dang crazy money. Unfortunately, this heist is not nearly as effective as it used to be because of the fact that you do need two people to run this heist, but let's be real. You can do all the setups alone, you only need two people to actually do the heist itself. So if you have any friends or you don't have any friends, you can hop into any Discord server like myself, TGG, or really any other YouTuber like Harm None, and you can probably find two people quite easily, or just one person to do the heist with. So it's still a very effective way of making money. Not only do we have that, but we have the Terminal Command Center. This is by far the best part about the arcade, at least in my opinion, and the only reason I actually purchased it. The Master Control Center, not the Terminal Command Center, but I like to call it that, has access to all of the somewhat new businesses in the game. It doesn't have access to the acid lab, but that doesn't really matter because you can literally call Mutt on your phone and resupply your acid lab, so that business, it doesn't matter to your master control terminal. And the only other business you can't access through this is your agency, but honestly, it's not the end of the world. Your agency's literally right down the road in the city, so again, it's not the end of the world. The major businesses that you're going to want to control through this, obviously the nightclub is very nice, because let's say my nightclub popularity, which we can see is a little bit down. It's at like 40%. Well, very easily, I can just go to nightclub management, resident DJ, and I can rebook a DJ over and over very quickly. I probably have to do this about 6 times, so that's 4 times, 5 times, and 6 times. And now if we take a look at my nightclub, and as we can see, my nightclub popularity is at about 90%, which is pretty dang solid. You can also sell your nightclub goods if you wanted through the arcade as well, although personally, I still think it's a better idea just to make your way over to the nightclub because you're going to spawn right outside where the vehicle is. Personally, I don't understand the point of ever selling goods when you could just make your way over to the property and sell them there anyway, because you're going to have to get the vehicle, but still not the end of the world. The nightclub's a great business, and being able to restock its popularity here is very easy, rather than going over to the nightclub, walking through everything, and then restocking it. We have gun running supplies, so if I wanted to resupply my bunker, which I'm going to do very quickly, boom, bunker is resupplied. Then you can swap into a motorcycle club very quickly by just getting off of your seat, boom, unregister from a CO, register as a motorcycle club, then you can fill up your coke lockup, your meth, your weed, your counterfeit cash, and your document forgery. Finally, we have vehicle cargo and special cargo. As you can see, I can very easily just go to source a vehicle through vehicle cargo, and for special cargo, I could also very quickly source cargo if I wanted to. So this is all the opportunities the Master Control Center has in your arcade. Honestly, pretty solid. I do kind of wish you had the ability to control the agency through here, but honestly, the agency's literally down the road, so it's not that mandatory. Now, with all these things, the arcade does also have a passive money method. It's not really that much. I don't even know if my arcade has any passive money because the game's literally not telling me, but you have a safe that you can open up, and as we can see, the safe does actually have some money in it. We had 55,000 in there, so every 48 minutes, your safe is going to collect about $5,000. If you fill up your arcade, you can just do what I did and kind of cheese the game and use the same arcade machine throughout the entire arcade. It's like the cheapest machine. I've already made at least like a couple million off the arcade just by grabbing the passive income. It's nothing crazy, but it is still free money at the end of the day. So this is what the arcade has going for it. And now we move on to the Terabyte. Now the Terabyte is great for a couple reasons, but it's also got some big downsides compared to the arcade. The first big upside the Terabyte has, and really the major one, is the fact that you can park it wherever you want. For example, I've got mine parked right outside my special cargo warehouse, which means if I want to do some sourcing, I can literally hop on the computer right in front of me, and I can do the sourcing right next to where the crates need to go. So that means after I'm done doing my special cargo source, I can instantly plop out of my warehouse right into the Terabyte and start my next source. It's a lot faster to do it like this than to, for example, fast travel back to your office and do the sourcing. It's not a whole lot faster, but it is still more efficient. That is what a lot of try-hard and super grindy people will do when it comes to special cargo. The other big advantage the Terabyte has is the fact that you can upgrade the Oppressor Mark II and store the Oppressor Mark II here. This gives you a couple things. First of all, if I'm not mistaken, storing your Oppressor Mark II in your Terabyte gives you a 2-minute faster cooldown of getting it back. Instead of 5 minutes, it's 3 minutes, but as well, it also gives you the ability to upgrade it, which is massive. You can't put missiles on it, you can't do anything to it unless you have it stored here. So that's the thing for the Oppressor Mark II. Now, as I said earlier, you don't really need an Oppressor Mark II anymore when there's so many other vehicles that are really, really good at this point, but it is still quite a good vehicle if you wanted to get your money grinding on. It's just really dang expensive at, yeah, $8 million. But with that aside, let's talk about the things that you can do with the Terabyte. So not only do we have special cargo, we have gun running supplies, we got our biker supplies, air freight cargo, and vehicle cargo. You will notice that we are very, very absent of nightclub, which honestly really sucks because the nightclub by far is the most used business for me when it comes to my arcade. Being able to use my arcade to not only resupply my other businesses, but also make sure my nightclub popularity is to the max saves me a lot of time because of the fact I don't need to now travel to my nightclub. So it is a little disappointing that Rockstar didn't add the nightclub to the Terabyte. I'm a bit saddened. And the other real big disappointment about the Terabyte is the fact that, well, yeah, sure, you can very quickly call in your Terabyte and make your way over to it. But what? Probably takes about 30 seconds to call in your Terabyte, and then you gotta move it to where you want it to be. Probably takes you about a minute to do that. I can also just scroll through my properties list, keep scrolling, scrolling, scrolling until I find my arcade. It's somewhere in here. There it is. Spawn location arcade. And then I can very quickly go to find new session, invite only. And just by doing this, it's going to take me probably about 20 seconds. You're going to see how quick it is. It's fast. It's going to take me probably about 20 seconds to load into a new lobby. And what this does is it allows me to go right in my arcade. You can see it spawns me right in the basement, and all I need to do at this point is run right over to my screen, and boom, I can access everything. So sure, the Terabyte is nice. The fact that you can use it to source special cargo is cool, but as I've said in previous videos, special cargo is useless in the grand scheme of things. It really is. It doesn't make a lot of money, and now that you can literally just pay your associates like Lupe to go source you crates, you should be doing more effective money-making strategies as it is. Really, I don't ever use my Terabyte. It sits dormant in my garage. As you can see, I haven't even upgraded it. I use my arcade a lot more. The Terabyte does not feature any heists. It also does not feature any money-making capabilities like the arcade's passive income. Overall, the arcade is a better business for not only having more opportunities to resupply, but as well having a garage that you can store up to 10 vehicles in, and everything else. Really, the only reason you should get a Terabyte is if you want to own the Oppressor Mark II. Apart from that, I'd really have to say all the cards are stacked towards the arcade. Hopefully you enjoyed today's video, and if you'd like to see more like it, please consider smashing that subscribe button down below. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye, and let me know what you think.